Hello and welcome to the Knights of Gab-A-Lot. I am Sir Benjamin,
And I am Sir Nick.
and we are here to gab your ears off over all things storytelling. And this time it is Fallout Season 2, Episode 2.
The golden rule, mother trucker.
Side note, I do like the titles they give these episodes. They're fun.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. They're fun.
And they make sense with what's happening in the episode too.
They do. Yeah, no, they're definitely fun. I really like Lucy's little golden rule, mother trucker. It makes me laugh every time.
Oh man, there's so much that she does that just makes me snicker. Like, I mean, there's so many moments in this, same in the last episode and this episode where she seems to kind of regress slightly, but I also have to remind myself, like, whether that's, a writer's thing or, whatever, I have to remind myself also, like, wait a minute, in real life, when people change and are coming to terms with huge changes, they don't flip on a dime and become a completely different person right away. That's how it works in writing, but not necessarily the real world. So I can forgive
That's true.
forgive the slight regression because she still has that almost that hope of like, hey, things should be better. This world is crap, but it still could be better.
That's true. That's a really good point. People in real life, they're not monoliths. They'll go back and forth
Yeah. I know
when they're adjusting.
that's just me giving the benefit of the doubt. Like, yes, it is. I think it is still technically is an issue of regression, but
Yeah.
they still make it work.
Well,
There's enough
when
to
the
make it
show is
forgivable.
enjoyable, you want to find reasons why it works. I think the term is fan wanking.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that. Yeah, no, I really like how this episode starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starts off with Shady Sands, Maximus as a child, and I really, really enjoyed seeing just the NCR, like the NCR in charge of this city. Because I think it is a city. It doesn't look like it's just a town.
I believe so because then you do Shady Sands is like one of the first towns you come to. I think in the first Fallout game. I finally started playing a bit. I played a bit of it at one point. But yeah, I think Shady Sands is
Original?
original. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tried playing that and I could not get into it.
I am still having a hard like I had started I actually started playing it like a year ago, and then of course moving and baby and all these things happened, and so I haven't picked it back up again. But
Things happen.
yeah, but side note, but if I remember correctly, Shady Sands I think was like the one is like the capital of the NCR, or like was there where they started somewhere in that area, I think,
Okay.
in
Was
the lore.
was the NCR around in the first Fallout game?
I don't think it was. I'd have to go through the lore. I haven't run into any.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't recall, but I could be wrong. Just watch. It's gonna be if we ever get people in the comments, we'll be like, "Hey, Benjamin knows nothing about Fallout lore." No, I just don't have it. Okay, yes, that's true, but I also don't have things memorized.
Yeah. The only thing I know a lot from I played Fallout 3 a few times. I've played Fallout New Vegas 4 or 5 times. Fallout 4, I've played one game for a very, very long time, and I just avoid all the quests. Well, I don't avoid all the quests. I take my sweet, sweet time, and I just explore the world and become the best in whatever faction I come across and commit war crimes and whatever.
Hey, it's not a war crime the first time.
I've done it more than once.
Now, now first you're checking off. First, it's a war. First time it's not a war crime. Second time you're just checking off Geneva's checklist.
Yeah. I remember when Ashley and I were watching this episode, the beginning of it,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the NCR soldiers going around. I blurted out, "I have committed so many war crimes against the NCR," and she was like, "What does that mean?" "I farm them for XP." That's what I would just go base to base to base, just farming XP and sneaking up on them and trying to kill them, like clear out their outposts in the most efficient way possible. and then wait for them to respawn and then go do it again.
Let's
You
face
make
it.
a lot of caps because you can sell their is it their rifles. Are they like modified M16s or something?
I think
Um,
so. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. Anyway, I would just sell the crap out of all of those, and it'd be awesome. But I really liked how they started it off. Uh,
Yes.
and then we get to like there's this guy who's pulling a wagon, and he says the line, he says the thing,
Yes.
patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Yep.
And so he says it the first time, and I was like, oh, he said the thing. And then he kept on saying it over and over and over again, and I
Hmm.
did not clue in. I'm like, wait a minute, don't tell me. The writers were just like, oh, again, the
Hmm.
viewers will be like, he said the thing. We'll say it again and again and again. And I'm like, what's going on? I was kind of annoyed because
Yeah.
I just assumed that that's what they were doing. It was just really poor. It made sense in a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
NCR uniforms look just fantastic.
Yeah, I
It's
liked that the World War One.
style helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. There's so many things I will say, like just both season one and season two, the costume design is top notch.
It's
Like it,
really good.
yeah, like you look like it looks like someone just looked at the game and transposed it onto the screen.
Shocking what happens when you just do that.
Yeah, it's like the costume design work is all done for you. Yeah,
Yeah, none of this. Well, we wanted to make it unique to our vision. Stop. No, just make it
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, costumes were good. One of the things I did like is this town, Shady Sands. Even though it was just a very short period of time for obvious reasons. Obviously,
Hmm.
we know that there's a massive crater in it in the present day. It felt like it was actually a lived-in town.
Yes.
Oftentimes with TV shows, you'll come into a town and it's only there for a few minutes, and it doesn't feel like it just feels like, oh, this is a bunch of window dressing.
Hmm. Yes.
I thought they did a good job making it feel lived in, which is important to me because obviously this is where Maximus is from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Maximus's character, I kind of go back and forth on what I think about him.
Hmm.
Because in the first season, I hated him the first time. I was like, this wimpy, oh, what's the other word? This wimpy potato. he's just he's just a nothing burger. But then he develops as he goes along. He actually ended up being one of the more interesting characters at times. And so I was really happy to get this little bit of a backstory. You could see his dad and his mom, and
Hmm.
it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. Like when I was watching it the second time here, just before, as a dad, certain scenes just hit you harder. Like the
Oh
whole
yeah,
like when he's telling him, you're a good son, you can be a good man or something along those lines, and then he
when
puts
he
him in
puts
the
him in the fridge.
yeah, and just that whole scene, I'm just like,
I know.
if I
I
wasn't a
felt
dad,
that too.
yeah, it hits differently. It's the,
Before we get to that part, let's walk the viewers through. So,
yes.
the guy who's pulling the wagon into town, he's repeatedly
Hmm.
saying that the line.
Hmm.
He brings the wagon into town, and then Maximus's dad sees a crowd of people gathered around the wagon, and then that character is lying on the ground, and he's just saying that line on repeat.
Hmm.
And he checks to the back of his neck, and they see one of House's, Mr. House's, what the frick is it called?
That
Um,
mind control device that we saw in the
the
first
mind
episode.
control device.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy dies, and then they look in the wagon, and it's a nuclear bomb.
Hmm.
And the dad tries to disarm it, and I was like, even though I know the fate of Shady Sands, I was rooting for him.
Oh
I
yeah.
liked him actually. Well, he was in it for just like 5 minutes, and yeah, I thought it was good. So fails obviously, goes back home, and then we get to the fridge scene that you were talking about
Hmm.
there. Takes everything out of the fridge, puts his son in there, and says, no matter what, you stay in there and you stay out until it's safe. And then it was That was a good moment. It's so hard for me to feel anything in TV shows nowadays because everything is just so badly done.
Yeah.
And I don't want to beat this horse to death, but I loved how this 8 minute introduction to Shady Sands, Maximus as a child, his parents worked really, really well. And when that bomb went off, it just levels everything. Like for me, I know it's a good scene when I look over to my wife and I say, "Can you imagine that moment?"
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, it was good. It was great.
Yes.
I really liked it.
And props to the actors who played his parents. Like, again, brief scene, but it was believable. Their relationship was believable. Their
Mhm.
care for their son was like all of it was believable. Like props to these actors. Like they need more work.
Yeah. The only unrealistic scene, oh, granted, okay, it's Fallout, but the most unrealistic part of it for me was how quickly his Maximus listened to his dad and
Hmm.
went into the fridge. I don't think my kids would have complied as easily. No, Daddy, no, no, Daddy, no. Get in the effing fridge. And then just close it and bear hug it.
Kid, we're playing
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. You're Dr. Jones. Get in the fridge.
Oh, don't remind me of that scene.
I thought now this probably maybe like I really like the transition from after the bomb goes off. It transitions to Hank, Lucy's dad, in the
Mm.
vault, and it transitions is right from the bomb to him washing his hands. He got his hands dirty, and now he's washing them off. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Probably was. Yes, it's on the nose in some ways, but I love it.
It's
I love it.
really on the nose, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Yep.
And then it had his little Pip Boy says detonation confirmed or
Mm-hmm.
detonation successful,
Yeah, something like
and
that.
then nice little nuclear explosion
Mm-hmm.
on the screen, and then he goes on to read "Wind in the Willows" with Lucy. Yeah, no,
Both.
it was a great little moment, great
Mm-hmm.
little moment. And then after that, I think it transitions back to the present. Maximus is in his suit
Yeah.
and he's kicking so much ghoul ass. That was fun, just blasting zombies.
This
Those
whole
suits are so cool.
they are very cool.
Oh, they look so cool. They feel good too. Like I can feel it when I watch. I wonder how much of it was actually CGI and how much was practical because I know for a fact some of it's practical.
Mm-hmm. I actually have. I should look that up. I really
I'll
should.
I'll look that up while we chit chat
Yeah.
because I want to know because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I'm thankful that they, as I said in the first episode, with the first episode, that they didn't feel the need to show where what was happening to every single character right after season one. That they gave it room to breathe in the first episode, and then now in episode two, we're getting to see Maximus and where he's at. I like how they've done it. You get to see him kind of coming to terms. Well, not coming to terms. Kind of working through with where he's in the ranks, right? He going from this pathetic character in the first season, and now he's got some more clout happening and everything, and definitely a far more
Sweet.
confident guy.
Okay, yeah. So the night suits, they are physical props. The show prioritized as much as possible using real wearable armor rather than CGI. The suits were built by Legacy Effects, known for Iron Man, designed around a stunt performer to ensure that they were functional. The armor is actually heavy. It weighs roughly 150 pounds, which required actors to endure significant discomfort. Sweet. The flight scenes were achieved using practical effects, including a real jetpack designed by Gravity Industries combined with a suit rather than pure CGI. And the armor featured functional motorized helmets that could open and close.
That's really
Dude,
cool.
I
That's
love that.
sick.
I love that so much. I'm not I'm not a against CGI, um, but I do prefer practical.
Well, you can tell
Yeah,
when something is in the physical space
yeah,
because also
exactly.
the actors do react differently.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to make sure that a fully CGI unit or asset, excuse me, looks like it is interacting with the real world. A
Hmm.
classic example, obviously, is Gollum. They did such a good job, and obviously they had a full actor
Hmm.
in place. But you know, I don't watch that and think in my mind, even though the effects are a little bit dated now,
Yeah,
it's still amazing. You know, do did a great job with that. But
yeah.
practical, that was awesome.
I really
Yeah.
speaking of the practical, I'm also wondering how much of the the Brotherhood of Steel, like their ships, the airship or whatever. I wonder how much of that. Pardon me.
Yeah. The airships, sorry, I
Yeah,
called them blimps. Yeah, airships.
I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah,
how much. Like obviously, in flight and whatnot, it's CG, but I wonder how much was practical and if they did like miniatures or something. Because that's another thing. It's a whole side tangent. Just yeah, miniatures, bigatures, all that whole shebang. There's just amazing stuff that can be done with that. So as you know, as you're looking at that up, so this
yeah.
scene with Maximus and all that stuff, and then he's getting stuff together, and they activate this little thing out in the desert, and then those big fans come out of the sand, and then just start blow, and then they blow and they blow away a whole bunch of sand, and it reveals a
Area
hangar,
51.
Area 51. Like
Yeah.
now, I was like, yes, I was excited. I was like, oh, Area 51 finally, because I was always like, man, why wasn't Area 51 included in like a DLC in New Vegas? That would have been sick. So that thing, I was like, finally, we get to see Area 51 in the Fallout universe. But then I thought, then of course, my brain starts going, um, so the fans either they, sand was a significant issue pre-war that they constantly had to blow the stuff away, kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. Either it was an issue pre-war, or the place was buried and hidden pre-war intentionally. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense for there to be fans set up there to intentionally, blow it away, kind of thing.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
That's my problem when it comes to it's just certain details like that, especially when it comes to like hidden treasures and whatnot.
But it could be that the Brotherhood was setting up those fans. You know, they had the
Mm,
guys in the masks, and you know, maybe that's what they were doing is pushing them into the ground and getting ready. That would make sense. I mean, it's a futuristic world. Why
yeah,
not?
maybe. But remember,
That's
they were also getting that control chip unit. They had to find it in order to activate everything.
yeah.
So
I
I
don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Or remember, and also remember the plant that they went to plug it into the power source was in that fake playground. So it was already set up there.
I'm blanking, so I'm going to
Sorry,
take your word for it.
sorry,
No,
details,
don't
details.
apologize for me blanking. The hamster fell off of my wheel, not yours. You're good.
I'm just apologizing for my like nitpicking all over the place.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I got some nitpicks in this
Hmm.
episode, so
Yeah.
I won't apologize for those. Yeah, actually, I would say the part that actually cracked me up was when they're going through Area 51 and they open up a freezer unit and there's a frozen extraterrestrial in there, and you know the two guys are looking, they go, "No
Oh
way!"
yeah.
And then the alien thing falls and they go, "A fully functioning freezer." You know, and you think,
Yeah.
actually, fair enough. You're in the desert. A fully functioning freezer would be awesome.
It was a great joke. I also like that the design of the alien was, I'm pretty sure it was like bang on for the Zetans that you fight in. Had you played the DLC in Fallout?
Fallout 3 DLC.
Yeah, with the
I
alien
know which
ship.
one you're talking about. I have not played it.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the
Yeah,
same
I'd be
alien,
willing to bet.
which I thought was like, yeah, that's great. I love that. Just before the whole thing, yeah, that part in the freezer with we got a scene with Lucy and the Ghoul, where she's lecturing him about needing to be more nice, kind of thing, and then asking, because he is looking for his family and whatnot, and she asks him something along the lines of like, hey, would they accept or be happy with who you've become, with how hard and mean you've become and everything. And it just seemed like you look on his face, it's like this is a question he's asked himself before.
Yeah.
And it does haunt him.
He ignores that question.
Yeah. I do hope that we get to see some of that progression of a good man becoming hard and ruthless. I'm really hoping we see more of that, like the progression of what causes, right. Like I think we are getting a bits of it in the flashbacks, but I'm really hoping that we get to see more of that transition, and not just because like there's so many stories I've seen where a character makes a huge leap from good to bad, and it's usually like one moment suddenly flips them.
Yeah.
And I know from what we've seen of him in the past, this needs to be a slow burn, make sense kind of thing. And I'm really hoping that the writers are able to pull that off.
Yeah, well, a huge part of that, I would imagine, has to do with not necessarily the betrayal of his wife, but his wife kind of developing an anti-human perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make the bombs drop or encourage the bombs to drop in order to, that would be pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the hospital, and they're walking by a hospital, and they hear a woman's voice screaming for help. And they have an argument about whether or not they should go. And the Ghoul says, well, everybody needs help. Well, how do you just ignore it? You get used to it, And they just have this conversation. She decides, well, screw you, I'm gonna go. Goes to the hospital, and he's like, all right, I guess we're doing this, and follows after her. And they start going through room by room, and then they go down into a subfloor, it looks like. And I realized immediately there's a little bit of a problem here. There is no way that woman's voice, who's crying for help, would carry all the way to the frickin' road. It's all pretty good distance. I don't even think anyone would hear if they were standing in the entrance of the hotel, the hospital. But anyway, it needs to happen. This is how Fallout side quests happen. So We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They find a woman wearing a white tunic. She's wounded, and then there's another one who's wounded. So as Lucy is about to pull out a stim pack to give it to her, the Ghoul walks over. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna come help you out. See, and cuts the guy's throat and starts eating parts of him. He's like, just slurps some of his neck meat. I'm like, okay,
so great.
But then he immediately starts to gag.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and then goes over, looks at a couple of other corpses that are lying by, and sees that they have a bunch of pustules. Is that the word? Greenish pustular texture on their skin. And he goes, oh, well, shoot. And the wounded woman goes, oh, they're back. There's rattling in the stuff, and I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Rad Scorpions.
Well, specifically, we had bark scorpions first because those were the small ones from New Vegas, and then we get the giant Rad Scorpion, which I don't know about you, I automatically clicked. I was like, oh shoot, we've all at low level run into a giant Rad Scorpion, and we have trapped ourselves, and we're trying to get.
Okay, in Fallout 3, I remember going in deep down in a dungeon, a structure, and I ran out of bullets very early. This is very early into the game, but I had a baseball bat, and I had already come a very long ways, and I was really stubborn. I'm like, I'll find more bullets. So I would come across these Rad Scorpions, and there were so many of them. I had to lure them into a room, close the door so that way the others wouldn't come, and then would just swing this baseball bat at this giant Rad Scorpion, going around and around and around for about frickin' 5 to 8 minutes until finally it dies. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, 12 XP for me. And then realizing there's 2 more out there and I gotta do this again. I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna go find more bullets. I'll come back. Yeah, Rad Scorpions, they give me the creeps.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too is the Rad Scorpion in particular was a mixture of puppetry and CGI.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. That is
yeah,
cool.
it was I brought this up in advance. A full-scale, physical, and highly detailed Rad Scorpion puppet was constructed and is described as nightmare fuel and is capable of moving, with puppeteers pulling strings to operate it. And it was designed to interact directly with the environment and actors, requiring them to react to a physical, albeit sometimes unpredictable creature on set. So obviously they use CGI for, for some things, but
Hmm.
probably a lot of things, but a lot of it was puppetry.
Oh, that's
So that
awesome.
was awesome. It looked great.
Yeah. Oh, it did. And yeah, that was
It had a really weird mouth too.
yeah, like,
It had a weird mouth. Like it opened like this, but then the way them it's like, and then the inside was like this.
creature mouths creep me out. Like, you want to creep me out, give me some good detail of the mouth opening and closing.
Yeah,
It creeps me out, especially when it gets really close to a character and starts trying to bite them. Like, it something in my head starts to put myself in that scenario, and I
yeah,
would because then I start thinking like, oh, it's gonna bite you. You're still gonna be alive while it's eating you. Ah, that's disgusting. That's terrifying. Ah, kill me now.
yeah. No, it was. There was a funny scene too. So the 2 bark scorpions, Lucy is dealing with, or at least one of them, and then the ghoul is dealing with the big Rad Scorpion. And then at one point, he's on the ground. Scorpion comes up to with its tail to go stab him, and he grabs the woman in the tunic and uses her as a body shield, stabs into her, and then he still ends up getting wounded. So now they're both stabbed, but he ends up shoving a grenade into the
Oh
Rad
yeah, yeah.
Scorpion, kicking it off, and then it goes bloosh. It was glorious, and then Lucy still has that stim pack, and he's like, "Give me the effing stim pack." And then the woman's also, she's literally dying. The ghoul's just uncomfortable, and she gives the stim pack to the woman, and then the ghoul goes, "F you." She's like, "She would have died. You're just in pain. I'll come back for you." And then decides that she's going to help this tunic woman. And it took me a long time to figure out who the tunics were with. Way, way, way too long.
It took me a while too.
Yeah, that's down the road though. How many scenes ahead is that?
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's not
It's
too
it's
many.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit. So we won't spoils it yet. But yeah, so she just leaves the ghoul on the floor in the hospital. It was pretty funny.
It was pretty great.
Then we go back to her brother, who has finished
Oh yeah.
unfreezing all of management. This is in this point in the episode, Ashley and I actually paused and had a really big argument about the thing. Not like when I say an argument, we were
Hmm.
just going back and forth.
Hmm.
We've had plenty of flashbacks to pre-nuclear fallout,
Hmm.
right? And it's basically a retro-futuristic 40s 50s style world,
Hmm.
right? And they managed to capture that sort of that feel of what you know the 50s are like,
Hmm.
right? And so you have a particular idea of how these people act. You know, these people from management that Lucy's brother uncover don't act or sound like they come from that world. They sound like a bunch of Silicon Valley soy infested people.
I could see that.
I was really annoyed with this because again, Betty came from that,
Hmm.
right? Hank came from that.
Hmm.
They were all a part of this big pool of management that were groomed to run the vaults. So you're telling me that Hank came from the same group of people as these people. It just didn't feel like they came from the same culture at
Hmm.
all. I was really annoyed by that detail.
It's funny that you mentioned the whole thing of them not seeming like management material. I
Yeah.
actually I forgot about that, and then when you mentioned it, it's like, oh yeah, you're totally right. None of
Thank
them,
you. I will tell Ashley that you thought I was right. Perfect.
like one could argue like, well, they're been rudely awakened and they're kind of disoriented. Like, sure, but they didn't come across as people who had been trained to be in management positions and to manipulate other people in a vault, right? Like
Yeah, they didn't look like they were capable of manipulating a pickle jar,
yeah,
let alone.
they came across as just like, oh, you're regular Joe Schmo, the regular vault dwellers that were just frozen and are going to be released for Reclamation Day. That's what they came across as, which is funny. It's funny when you think, because I forgot Lucy's brother's name. It's funny when he seems to be the most capable one for some kind of advanced decision making in a group. It's bad when he seems at just low on confidence. Which, on that note, I mean, we get to see it later on in some other scenes. I do like the fact that his character has developed and that he's having to
Mhm.
grow and push beyond. It's not just, hey, here's the dumb brother who is a worm and their sister is amazing. It's he's growing as well.
Yeah, no, he is an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the like in between watching season two, we've been rewatching season one, and I was reminded just how much I like his character, how he's a very small person, very, very short, but he I really enjoy his interactions with the former gatekeeper guy, the one
Yeah,
who's with Steph.
yeah.
I like his character. He's funny. He's
It's,
interesting.
yeah. Then we get a brief scene with Hank in
Hmm.
that Vault-Tec lab, working with some of the mind control technology using the little
Hmm.
chips on lab rats, and we just get a montage of rats exploding, or as he's trying to get them to respond to the mind control chip.
Yeah,
Those
he's
are,
trying to get them to operate a small computer
mhm,
inside of a terrarium.
yeah.
It's amusing.
And then we go to back to Area 51 with the Brotherhood of Steel, and I am
Hmm.
sure in this sequence, because they're showing all the stuff in the hangar, I am sure there's a bunch of references that I am not getting.
I'm sure there are two.
Like the
Maybe
only,
some of the viewers will be unhappy
yeah, I
that
mean,
we pick them out, but it
I
is
mean,
what it is.
yeah. I mean, there was one of the plasma rifles or whatnot there, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I recognize that. So I kind of recognized that, and then the Zayton alien recognized that, but that was about it.
And we get the meeting of the different Brotherhood leaders. And this, for me, was where the Brotherhood started to feel really not like the Brotherhood to me. You have like four, is it four or five, including I can't remember
Quintus.
the pardon.
So Quintus is the leader guy, and then there was the
Is it
two.
three? No, it was definitely at
There
least
was four
three.
counting Quintus. There was four because there was the
Counting
guy
Quintus, there's
because there was
four.
the representative from the Grand Canyon. I forgot where
Mm-hmm.
the other guy's from, and then there's the
Coronora and yeah,
Yosemite. I think the
yeah,
lady.
the the
I think
woman's from Yosemite.
yeah, that's right.
I had some issues with this scene. So they're negotiating how they're going to proceed because they
Hmm.
purposefully did not invite the Brotherhood leader of the Commonwealth.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm guessing there's a little bit of inferiority complex when it comes to the Commonwealth leader. And they're kind of bickering back and forth a little bit. And they were borderline not amusing. Like, do
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like they were interesting, but they were, I don't know, they're nothing about them screamed brotherhood
Hmm.
to me. And there was an interesting exchange where the one brotherhood leader makes a comment about how women shouldn't be leaders, and then refers to the one female leader as a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
which then provokes a response of, well, I will cut your throat out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Brotherhood doesn't have any sort of rule against women leading.
I don't recall like I haven't.
I was trying to
Yeah,
rack my brain through Fallout 3 and 4 and Vegas. I cannot think of a single time where someone's sex determined their place.
yeah,
So I thought that was really, to me, that seemed like just bringing present IRL issues into, and then transposing it into this futuristic post-apocalyptic world.
yeah.
It did not make sense because that's not how the Brotherhood functions.
No,
As far as I know, please correct me if I'm wrong, someone out there.
I had a similar thought. Like, I mean, I get, there's a lot of always, different interpretations of how these things function, but I don't know. I kind of envisioned the Enclave to be a bit more fragmented, like, like these guys are. They didn't
Mhm.
seem like a united front. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the Enclave is different from the Brotherhood.
I don't think the Enclave even exists anymore in this timeline. Like by this point, I think the Enclave had already been. I'm getting into lore stuff. Okay, we let's
Yeah,
focus
they've made
back on the
reference to
show.
the Enclave, but I think in past tense.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so that was one of my issues with the scene. Nobody except the elder, what was his name? Quintus, you
yeah,
said?
yeah.
Nobody except Quintus. I mean, actually, just Quintus, first of all, perfectly cast.
Yes.
He plays that role just perfectly. But everybody else felt not Brotherhood. The
Mhm.
Brotherhood in the video games, I always got the impression they were stoic. Um, they were, well, there you go. They were stoic.
And
They were they were
very
they were
disciplined.
humorless to a fault for the most part,
Yeah, and very disciplined.
and extremely disciplined. And there was nothing in this scene that screamed discipline to me at
No.
all, especially with those two numbnuts who were playing with a grenade and
Yeah.
goofing around.
Yeah.
That took me out of it so badly. That was a very poor choice.
I would agree.
Knights in the Brotherhood they're disciplined, they're badasses.
Hmm.
Um, and the show is not consistent on whether or not they are. Because if what they're trying to say is that this particular outfit of knights is undisciplined, they needed to show that beforehand.
Yeah.
And they did not. So they're playing with a grenade. Literally, they're playing with a grenade and chuckling loudly about it as these negotiations are going on. And Maximus goes over and takes the grenade away from them, shows them what for. And I think the point of the scene was just to show how much authority Maximus has now, that he doesn't even need he doesn't need to have a mech suit on to show a knight his place. But wrong ingredients. Knights don't act that way. That bothered me more than it probably should.
Yeah. It's funny because I start thinking like, you know, military guys doing dumb stuff. It happens all the time. I've been actually listening to a bunch of fatty electrician videos.
I love him.
Oh,
I love him.
it's so funny. And like just whenever he talks about the Marine Corps, like the guy's playing with the grenade in armor. Oh, I could totally see guys in the Marine Corps like messing around with that. Of just like, hey, especially if it's a grenade they know is not going to damage the suit and
Mhm.
kill them. I could see them like getting drunk and messing around with that.
But not in the
But
middle of a high stakes.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. No, yeah, and this is not me dumping on the Marine Corps at all. This is just me kind of pointing out just the thing of like, yeah, it's when you're messing around and goofing around on your off time or whatever. I could see it being a thing
yeah,
in armor, not like you said in the middle of a negotiation.
yeah. That was a really poor choice.
I would agree.
That's all I have there. I mean,
Yeah.
what's her name? The female character friend of his. She has this kind of moral high horse thing that she's got going on,
Hmm.
which I don't fully understand because I don't actually really understand what her position is in the Brotherhood. So I understand what Maximus's is.
Hmm.
What Maximus is, there we go. but I don't actually know what hers is. So why is she going after him?
Yeah.
I actually honestly don't even fully understand because she has this problem with him. Let me back up. She has this problem with Maximus. He's needs to stand up and do something or change something, and I don't understand what it is. But it's really important to her, and I could not give less of a poop. So during the whole thing, she's like giving Maximus eyes, like, are you going to take care of this? Are you going to step in? Are you going to this or that? It's like, shut up. You do it.
Yeah, I have a few thoughts later on with I'll explain it a little later when some other scenes come up, and I have some more
Yeah.
things to bring up with that. Yeah. There's a couple other scenes that kind of come up. There's not, you get another flashback to, Lucy's little bro. More examples of him growing a pair and dealing with all these yahoos and everything. Again, great stuff. He's growing as a character. He's pushing past his insecurities. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Great character growth. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, then we get to Hank back at the Vault-Tec thing doing some more experiments with the mind control, and he decides to move to
That's right.
human, a human subject, and so he has gets someone from who is in cryostasis, and he's got the implant, and he's doing the whole having conversation with him, turns it up, and of course the head explodes, and it was that moment I then started asking myself, okay, all we've seen, those mind control things are somewhat defective. They only have a certain range. They only last so long. Everyone we've seen with them, their head has exploded. At times it seems to work for a little bit, other times it doesn't. But there is one time where it worked as it did what it was supposed to do. And that was when Hank had that trader, caravan trader, bring the bomb into Shady Sands, and I'm like, so are we going to address that? Like, are we going to explain how that actually still worked in the end when all the other times we've seen it used,
Mm-hmm.
it has a very limited, it's defective in all the other times. It's not working the way it's supposed to, and it's in its trial phase, and yet this one time it worked, and this
Yeah.
point takes place before this thing. So it's this thing of like, is this going to be one of those things that is hand waved away and never addressed, and hoping that the audience didn't notice, or is there something else going on here? I don't know.
Good point. One thing I would have liked is more explanation on why the mind control devices aren't working, why they're making the rats explode, and why they're blowing up the heads of people. Because they've done a lot of showing that there is a problem, but I don't understand what it is that Hank is trying to accomplish. Or excuse me,
Yeah.
I know what he's trying to accomplish. I don't know how he's trying to accomplish it because we're not being put in the know for what each new experiment is supposed to yield. So we just get a montage of exploding rats, and then culminating in that scene where that guy pulls out of cryostasis, his head explodes. So it feels like there's a lot of inside baseball.
Yeah, because the scene when we in the first episode when we first see House putting the thing on people, it seems to indicate that the person is like prone to suggestion and maybe not fully mind controlled, and it seems to work there. None of the other times that we've seen like Hank using it or whatnot, it doesn't seem to exactly be that way. It's not clear exactly how this thing works, and is it full mind control? Is it just suggestion makes them more pliable, or what is it? And the scene with the rats, and then with this guy is how he's got this dial that he's turning it up, waiting for the reaction he wants. So he's feeding power, whatever, and then gets too high, explodes. We don't see him trying anything different especially with the montage with the rats. He's not doing anything different, so we don't know what kind of data he's collecting, which is fine if they explain it. It's just at this point we're like, okay, what are you looking for? Because you're doing the exact same thing, expecting a different result. Like, are you looking into like differing rat weights or their minds, or what is the factor here?
Yeah, I didn't feel like I wanted to know what it was he was aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, again, I know what he was aiming for, a non-explodey head. But yeah, I just need to have a bit more detail to care about what his process is.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's clearly conducting experiments. Even just give me a little bit of gobbledygook to kind of go with it. Have him muttering to himself, well, if I adjust the frequency for the this or that, I would have preferred that. But
Yes, some gobbledygook that indicates that he's adjusting his process. That in, indicates that there is more effort being made than trying the exact same thing over and over and over again,
yeah,
expecting a different result.
not much more. I don't have much more to add on that.
No.
I'm hoping future episodes will elaborate
Mm-hmm.
better.
Yeah, me too.
The next note I have is just Caesar's legions and exclamation marks.
Yeah, we get to
So
Lucy getting captured.
yeah, Lucy's walking that lady with the tunic back to where she goes, and then she uses the term profligate,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, oh, and then Ashley goes, she's never played the game. So I explained, oh, she's with the Caesar's legions. She's like, you didn't pick that up from the tunic? I'm like, you don't even know what Caesar's legions is. She probably does because I've explained it. But yeah. So anyway, they show up to a point in the wilderness. There's a bunch of legions just standing, watching her. She turns back to the lady in the tunic, the one that she saved, and she's disappeared. And Lucy just keeps on walking. Oh yeah,
that was earlier in the episode, and now at the point she gets captured.
I didn't take notes on every single scene, so I don't.
I just give myself a little notation of like which scene is next, kind of thing, of like, this,
Yeah.
like Lucy captured or whatnot, especially if there's something like noteworthy. And then sometimes I'll have a note of, a thought and whatnot. Yeah. And then, we get, because there's a lot of like really brief flashbacks or flashes in this episode. Like, we get another shot of with Lucy's brother and the people come, they actually get outside and whatnot. And I actually had this thought, like, a little notation, like, this is just a fun fact that I think would be neat to explore in fiction in general, is the idea of her bro has, other than the simulation in the cornfield, he has never seen the sky. He has never been in an open space this big before. And it would have been, I think it would, I know it wouldn't have fit the scene, but and this is not a nitpick at all. It's just like fun fact observation. It would have been interesting to maybe see some kind of the sensory, not sensory overload, but just that I can't remember what the word is for it. There's basically where you're overwhelmed by being in such an open space because you've lived your whole life in an enclosed space.
Overwhelmed, overcome.
Yeah.
Awe.
Yeah. I mean, he did have awe. I really like that. Yeah, I think because oftentimes it's, from what I've read or what heard, that it usually expresses itself in there's far more fear, like the opposite of claustrophobia kind of thing, and people get overloaded. And it would have been interesting to see somebody have that. Again, this is not a nitpick, just an observation of like, hey, that would be a fun fact, fun thing. But
you're referring to the scene where where her brother leads all of those management types up through the vent.
Yeah.
And out into the open space. Yeah.
Yeah. It's neither here nor there. Just a little thought I had, like, oh, that would have been neat, but it's not a negative at all. And then we get to the big scene that I have quite a few thoughts on. The ending scene.
We're talking about back to the Brotherhood?
Yeah, the big.
I have some feelings as well. You go for it.
All right, just to set the scene.
Set the stage.
Yeah, we got the, do a military boxing match in air quotes. You got a bunch of guys in two knights in metal suits beating the snot out of each other, and then there's
Well, they're taking turns punching each other.
yeah, more or less. And then this really big guy comes up to Maximus and like, oh, so you're the guy who killed that NCR lady,
Moldaver.
yeah,
Yeah.
Moldaver. I bet I could take you. And Maximus like, yes, I bet you could. And turns to leave, and or anyway, it's like, oh, come on, let's go. Like, okay, I'll get my armor. No, let's do this bareback.
Gross.
Yeah, right. And then they throw down.
This was a really weird scene because we had just been shown two knights trading hits with each other. So the goal of the game is clearly I hit you, you're still standing, you hit me. I'm still standing. I hit you, you're still, and then it goes back and forth until somebody is no longer standing. Very clearly that's the game. And this big boy is challenging Maximus. So you're thinking, all right, this is going to be exactly that. Nope. Maximus hasn't even gotten his jacket off. He gets clocked in the face. You're thinking, okay, well, that's the first hit, and he stood. But then the guy just continues to wail on him. What freaking game are we playing now?
Yeah.
And then he pulls a knife on him. What's going on here? It was a bit of a mess because nobody else seemed surprised by this.
Especially the knife pulling. Like I could see themselves see them kind of giving a pass to like, oh, you punched him and what,
But the knife pulling,
yeah,
because the game is not meant, from what I saw, it was not meant to be fatal. I actually expected when he pulled a knife out for a couple of knights to stand in and say, no, this isn't what we're doing. But everyone just, this is apparently not unusual, which again felt very weird for the Brotherhood of Steel. I could go with them, all right, we're going to have some fun hitting each other, but turning it into a gladiator match didn't feel right.
Yeah, like that would make more sense for the Legion to have gladiator, because they have
Yeah.
right?
Oh, heck yeah. If that happened with Caesar's Legion, I wouldn't have batted an eye.
Yeah, but like you said, the Brotherhood of Steel, and yes, they do have some Roman monikers and names at times, and some of the things have a Roman influence, sure, but yeah, they should be I would expect far more discipline. And with this scene, like there's a couple shots over at Quintus, especially when the knife is pulled and later on and whatnot. And there's a couple shots even when Maximus looks up at him, you almost get this feeling that Quintus set this up, that he wants to remove Maximus for some reason.
Possibly.
And I don't know if that was meant or not, but I think that if the writers were wanting to give us that impression, that to really sell the impression that this is a setup, have some of the soldiers, other members of the Brotherhood, react negatively to the knife, but have a couple of the leaders not. And then you could, because I was unsure if like, okay, was Quintus setting this up or not? I don't know. And then weird. Yeah. Then of course in the fight, Maximus ends up having to kill the guy, and he ends him. And then he gets a look from his friend, and just the looks she gives him of this like I get this impression that she looks at him as like, this is not who you are, kind of thing. But it's like, really, I'm fighting for my life. That yes, you want me to be a better person, you want me to be a better man, and not be just a mindless killer. Lecture me.
I just put down a threat that I did not ask for.
Yeah, and you're with your face slagging me for keeping myself alive.
Yeah, it gave me vibes from I think that final episode of Alien Earth where Wendy is just getting on her high horse and laying into her brother. It had that same look, and I hated it.
Yeah.
It seems like just drama cooked up for the sake of drama.
Like, I don't think that
and nobody cares about this character. I'm sorry. She's bland. She's boring. There's nothing interesting about her.
Yeah. The idea of another character kind of calling Maximus out and trying to remind him of a bit more of who hold him to a higher ideal. I don't think it is a bad idea to do that, but needs to be done better and not in this way of like, oh, you fought for your life. Oh, you shouldn't be a killer. I was fighting for my life.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Actually, just pretty much that entire scene didn't make sense to me
Mm-hmm.
for a variety of reasons. We've already talked about that though.
Mm-hmm.
But then, he's hanging out over the body of this big old dude who he just killed, and another copter shows up. Obviously, the Commonwealth has arrived, and we get character steps out, identifies himself as Harkness, and basically invites himself to the party, and everyone's surprised that he's there, and I guess they're gonna act like, oh, we meant to give you an invite.
And he straight up calls them on it like, so we're starting a civil war, are we? That like
Yeah,
I thought that was great of just like no BS. It just like calls them out on it. I thought that was great.
and then then that's it. Then the episode ends.
Yep. Though this scene, I think that just there's a lot actually this whole show, but even like this scene, there's a lot. The actor who plays Maximus, there's an intensity to his acting in this scene and it's not
Yeah,
overdone and it's really well and it reminded me of Marvel's whole situation with I forgot the name of the actor, the guy who was playing Kang the Conqueror. I don't know if you heard about the thing that was going on with Marvel and whatnot.
yeah. They were gonna do one on Kang, and then it got canceled or something.
I don't remember all the ins and outs, but yeah, they would like he was going to be the like the big bad kind of thing, like the Thanos big bad for this phase.
The actor who plays Maximus was gonna be.
No, some other actor.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that actor was charged with I can't remember the whole ins and outs, but there was a whole legal thing. There was I think it was
SA, I think.
yeah, I think so, yeah. But anyway, and so they rather than recasting, they decided to switch gears and make you know switch gears and make Doctor Doom the big bad with Robert Downey Jr. and
Mhm.
whatnot. But anywho, I was looking at the like just the guy who's playing Maximus, like man, you should have recast and get this guy. I don't think he could. I will agree. I don't think he could do as good as the guy that they had playing Kang and the few clips and different things I saw. But I think he could do a pretty good job, and I think he would have been a pretty decent replacement, and they could have kept going.
I'm not familiar with Kang, so I couldn't say,
Mm-hmm.
but I do agree that Maximus has the actor who plays Maximus. He has he has an intensity about him that works really well. It gets
Mm-hmm.
almost melodramatic at times, but I don't think for me, it doesn't fully tip over into full melodrama.
No.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I liked the episode. I thought it was a stronger episode than the first one, and I didn't hate the first one. It just was not the opening I felt like it should have been.
Mm.
I also felt like because now we're splitting off into so many different plot lines, there's almost too many plot lines
Mm. Yeah, I can see what
going
you mean.
on.
Yeah.
Season one hyper focused on Lucy and then her brother uh, and Maximus.
Mm-hmm.
So the three going on. I think it was four or five different plot lines. We had Lucy and the Ghoul, we
Mm-hmm.
had Hank,
Yeah.
and we had her brother.
You mean
Then we have
in this season right now you're referring to?
in this episode,
Oh yeah, in this episode. Yeah.
and then we had little stuff in Vault 33,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like there was more, but
Well,
it felt
mhm.
almost like too much.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they're gonna handle all that because
Same.
with both episode one and episode two, like considering all the storylines we've got going on right now, like yeah, we've got yeah Lucy and the Ghoul. Now we've got Maximus, we have her brother, we've got Hank, then we have the former gate guard. Oh,
I
what's his
always
name?
forget his name, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
the
keep.
simp. I call him the simp.
Yeah, we have him, and then you could kind of say there's a bit of a story happening also in. I keep on forgetting like which vault because the three of them are connected, but there's almost six stories happening
Mm.
because there's also the whole thing with the water chip and everything in the other vault. So that's six. You could almost combine the vault things into one and say five. So we got five or six sort of stories kind of intertwining and everything, and that can be done well, but it's really hard. So
It
I'm
can be done well, I'm not saying that I think they didn't do well. I think they did a fine job with it.
mhm.
It was just coming up close to it,
Yes, yes.
is all. So hopefully that continues to be good as it
Yeah.
continues. I mean, overall, I enjoyed the episode. It was a little disjointed in places, but it was fun. It had some really great moments and pretty good character development for most of everybody.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Yeah, no, I hear that there's a death claw at some point. You've probably gotten up to that point. I'm hoping that they do it justice. The death claw is a pretty cool thing.
And terrifying AF.
Yeah, both. I always remember the first time encountering one of those in each of the different Fallout games.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that was so good. I loved how in Fallout 4, they immediately give you a power suit and then a chain gun, and you fight a Deathclaw at the very beginning.
Mhm.
I love that they did that.
I have mixed feelings, but
I liked Fallout 4. I didn't like the dialogue system they used, but
mhm.
or the fact that it's not really as open-ended as far as the story plots go
Right.
as say New Vegas, but I enjoyed it.
I haven't played a whole lot of four. Yeah, the funny thing is I haven't completed any of the main quest lines in either three, New Vegas, or no four. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I got distracted by all this other stuff, and then I did, and then life happened, and I ended up moving on to other games or just different things happening. So now that I've picked up New Vegas again, I am determined to yes complete the main story, but I'm
Mhm.
also doing certain things like because there's also the DLCs that I because I
Yeah.
have those, and so I'm wanting to complete things with the DLC in a
Mhm.
way that makes sense for the story and the character and whatnot. It's
Yeah, that can be tricky with the New Vegas DLCs.
mhm,
Some of them feel like most of them feel that I've played feel like they could fit anywhere into it,
mhm.
but some of them just feel off. There's one I did not enjoy. I think it was called The Long Road or something.
Oh, Lonesome Road. Yeah, I've heard of
The
it.
Lonesome Road. Oh, I hated that. That was
Don't give me
piss
any
poor.
don't give me any details.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm
I
like
I was gonna
I'm
say piss poor world design on that
okay.
one.
Okay.
I'll say nothing more.
All right. Well, I think that is it from us. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next time. The
See you
Knights are
next
out.
time.
The Knights are out.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for tuning in. You can find more from Sir Nick by searching Great Tradition on YouTube. You can also find me there by searching Classy Chappy. If we name dropped anyone during the show, be sure to check them out and leave them a comment saying that Classy Chappy sent you. The intro music was by Kevin MacLeod, Incomtech.com, used under Creative Commons 4.0. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.